Hello and welcome. Today it is my honor to present to our Lokvani audience Kamakshi Kalyanasundaram from Connecticut. She is the founder of Jagati, Kriti, a YouTube channel that brings together a confluence of arts, especially with a spiritual background to it. She herself is the student, disciple of Padma Shri Sangeeta Kalanidhi Madurai Shri T.N. Seshagopalan. She has been performing in the US and India for several years. She's a graded A all India artist, and she has been teaching Carnatic music in Connecticut for over 12 years. She is a producer, composer, and really just an incredible person who has brought together a wonderful artistic effort through Jagati Kriti. Welcome to Lokvani. Namaste.
Namaste.
What a pleasure it is to meet you here. I haven't had the opportunity of interviewing too many people who have actually started an artistic channel on YouTube. So could you tell us a little bit about Jagati Kriti?
Namaste, and thank you so much for inviting me today. In 2019, I wanted to start a channel like this, but initially we had a couple of concepts going on in my mind, and because of that, it ended up with this channel. So we started. The first concept that I had was we took a mantra like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and I asked, my father-in-law writes in Sanskrit and Tamil. He writes poems. So I was fortunate, and it's a blessing, I should say. So I requested him to write a shloka starting with each of these letters. So there are 12 shlokas in that song, and each one will start with Om Namo Bhagavate. And we had each shloka with the name of a ragam starting with that same letter.
Wow.
Same syllable. So that's how then we thought, okay, how to release this, and then we thought, let's come up with a channel. And one of my friend, a musician friend who's very popular in India, he's a violinist, Shri R. Ragul.
Yes.
So we both collaborated together to bring this song. He tuned that shlokas. Wow. And then we thought to keep the freshness going. So I started, I used to compose from my school days. So just like fun, little songs or Bardiyar songs, something like that. So then we started doing it together. Like a couple of songs I have done and a couple of songs Rahul has done.
That's really amazing. So you're not just a singer, but you are a composer. And what motivated you to compose songs? Do you write music, or you just take poems and then you set it to music?
To be honest, initially it started off with my aunt coming. She was a teacher in a school. So they used to, teach the kids for competitions, dance, or, at that time she used to bring the song and say, can you tune this for me in some ragam? So it all started off like that.
Wow.
And then slowly for my concert, sometimes if there is a thematic concert and I don't get enough songs, then that was the thing. And of course, the credit goes to my guru, Padma Bhushan Sangeeta Kalanidhi Seshagopalan sir. He is like, you give him any theme, anything. He's a great composer, apart from being a, artist, performer, musician. So I've watched him closely, like, compose and everything. So that created more interest and
wow. That's really fantastic. And it is true that I think now we have this wonderful mode with the YouTube channel to really bring access. First of all, spread the word. I guess that is what is the focus of your channel, to bring together people, or, it seems like you're not just presenting your own music, but you're really doing a lot of focus to feature new artists. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, so by the time we just started this first song, I'm sure everybody knows Kuldeep's channel, right? So
Yes.
I was looking at it, and the kids and the students performing in that were all Indian kids. So I thought, why not, there are so many kids here, and why not have them, train them and give them a platform. They will also be able to do a a Sanskritam song, or be it any language. So, and there are so many wonderful singers as well. So, and there are a lot of musician friends like me who have moved to the US. So I started collaborating with them and include their students as well along with mine. So we had about 7 kids in Subramanya Bhujangam, Adi Shankara's very popular work on Lord Subramanya. So we had 7 kids for that, out of which like 4 or 5 are my students and the rest my friends' students as well.
Wow, wow.
So we thought, in that way we bring the divinity is also, when the kids perform, it's so pure and it's so, the innocence is there, and they also get to know these really divine works that are there.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So it's a twin, looks like twin goals here. One is, of course, to feature the young artists, to give them a chance, but also to encourage them to understand these works and the deep spirituality. I love it when you said that young children are really pure. So I think that, do you feel a difference in the way they sing because of that purity? Do you see something that is special about it?
Definitely. See, when you teach them, right, obviously the focus, yes, is on the words and everything, but still we want some perfection, this here and there. But when they sing it kind of touches your heart, obviously. Even with those small little imperfections, right, that makes it even more beautiful, actually, sometimes. So in this channel, I don't try to really like force the kid. Yes, we aim at making it perfect, but at the same time there should be some natural flow to it, right? I don't believe in this too much of effects, artificial effects added to the audio or video. I would like to keep it as realistic as possible. So when the same student or the kid performs in a live, it should sound the same to the audience, right?
Yes.
So you don't want that artificiality. Then it becomes like, that video was better. Now the student is not singing. So at the same time, we try to maintain the quality by making them sing over and over again, and then do it before we record.
Old-fashioned way, practice and bring it correctly while bringing the soul of the music out. And I think that is, I think one of the things I did see with Kuldeep ji is, I think the children being featured become very, very touching to everybody when we hear Surya Gayatri and others sing. You really feel it, and I think it was a good thing. And I'm glad that you're replicating it and giving children in the US an opportunity. And to your point, I think the students here, I think I'm right in saying that many are very, very talented, right? I think you are encountering a lot of so what is the challenge when you see it here? The language, is that a barrier? Because this is all, you're talking about serious, Subramanya Bhujangam and all is not a trivial composition to sing. So what has been your experience with the youngsters?
It is true that, language is a little bit of barrier, but I would say the kids are really passionate, and sometimes they want to deliver and do it right. So they are ready to work hard. And they were all very, very cooperative. So that is one thing I should definitely say. The parents as well. So, and the parents, the beauty is that they are very cooperative in the sense they understand why I am doing this. It's first of all, it's good to learn a shloka like this. Then comes whether we are going to put a video or not. So they understand that, and they feel very happy. And the grandparents, especially from India, they feel so happy. And I'm telling you, the blessings that I have got from them is much more. I value that much more than anything else. They are so happy that their grandkids are learning something which they would, they feel that they would have missed it in the US. But in India, they would have got an opportunity. But now that they are learning these things, they are extremely happy, and they also motivate the grandkids, right?
And I think it's a great multi-generational link, right, between the grandparents and the grandchild. And also, I think the greatest treasure that you have is not your gold jewelry of your grandmother, but this kind of jewelry that, the gems that are hidden, and I think that probably the children here, those grandkids know even more than their grandparents, perhaps. Sometimes, am I right about that? Like Subramanya Bhujangam, not everybody would know about it.
Yes. And the other thing is that the kids, right, when I tell them that it's better to learn an Indian language, be it Tamil or Sanskritam or anything, any one language, so that it makes them more comfortable, they are ready to do that. And I have a couple of students who have already learned Sanskritam, as part of their, to the grammar point, they have teacher from India. So that's so amazing to see.
Wow, that's really fantastic. And now on Jagati channel, it's not just about music, because you have other dance forms, other art forms as well. Could you tell us about that?
Yes. So when we started this, I really wanted to bring, um, as much as possible the different art forms,
Yeah.
because each one has its own beauty and divinity. I love paintings, even though I'm not an artist. I have my friend Navya, who lives in New Jersey, and she's a self-taught, artist, and she does a very fantastic job. My logo for Jagati Kriti, which has a tambura and a veena,
Yeah.
was done by her. And we have a Trinity picture, which I can share with you later,
Yeah, sure.
which is a 5 feet canvas painting.
Wow.
And so I thought, we should include that in some way. So whatever be the deity or, the concept that I have, I tell her. And for the very first shloka, she made a painting for each shloka, representing the meaning in, that was very, very beautiful. Similarly, recently we released Durga Lakshmi Saraswati. It's like a Tripugal style composition written by my father-in-law. And that we had a dancer. We had a Bharatanatyam dancer born and brought up here, Varshini, from Boston area as well.
Yeah, I know Varshini well. She's a wonderful
Yeah,
dancer, yes.
she was amazing. Yeah, so we try to include as much as possible, the different art forms, and bring out the divinity and.
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. I think the divine connects all of the arts, and I think the art connects us to divine. So I think it's a wonderful, beautiful circle
Yes.
here. Now, of course, I think you have engaged upon a very interesting new endeavor with trying to feature Abhirami and Dadi, which
Yes.
to our viewers, it is a very unique set of hundreds poems that have been composed by Abhirami Pattar, who is from Tirukadayur, and the form itself is Andadi, which is the last word of the previous stanza becomes the first word of the next
Yeah.
stanza. And there's a beautiful story that is associated with Abhirami Pattar as well. And would you like to share the story with us first before we tell what you did with that music?
Sure. So, of course, in our Abhirami Anda, the Learn and Sing series, I had the introduction done by Sri Ashok Subramaniam. He's a Tamil scholar as well. He's in California. He lives in California. So he's given the intro about this entire episode, how this happened, and so the king comes and asks for what day it is, and Abhirami Bhattar says it's Paurnami. I mean, by mistake, but he's always in that trance. He's always having the darshan of goddess. So I'm sure every day is like very bright for him. So then it happens to be actually Amavasya day, no moon day, and because of the mistake, the king gets very angry, and he starts. I mean, Abhirami Bhatta starts praying to goddess Abhirami, and he starts composing this Abhirami Andadi. And at the 49th song, that's when goddess actually puts her tatanka, and it shines like the full moon that day. And then the king
The
realizes,
earring, right? Actually, it
yeah,
hits the throne, and it
yes.
actually shines like the full
So
moon.
then the king apologizes to Sri Abhirami Bhattar, and I mean, knowing his greatness, and that's how then he completed the entire Abhirami Andadi, the entire 100 songs. Of course, it has two more, the Ganapati Kapil and the last Palastuti.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what motivated you to use that and, to bring all of the 100 to the channel?
Yeah. So let me make the long story short. My grandmother has tuned the 100 Abhirami Andadi songs.
Yes.
Her name is Sita Lakshmi Narayanan. So she visited Kanchi Mahaperiva, Chandrasekharendra Saraswati in Kanchipuram. So she sang a couple of kritis, and then he asked her to compose Abhirami Andadi in Viritam format, not like metered, this is not metered like with a thalam or rhythm. So just like you would sing a Viritam or a shloka in a concert. So that style, he asked her to compose in 100 different ragas.
Wow.
So after she composed, and then she presented it again before the Periva, and he gave her a title Suswara Gana Ratna. And then she's been teaching so many people. I mean, there are countless people. I mean, even I have, there are people whom I know, whom I don't. So, and every Tuesday and Friday, she would recite this, sing this in the temple near her house. So probably she would have sung this maybe more than 100,000 times. So she wanted me to bring this out in cassette. That those times it was cassette that was popular.
Yeah.
I was very, reluctant as a kid. I was not very serious about it. And now she's 92. She lives in Bangalore. So now suddenly, just one day, myself and Sahana, who's singing with me, who's learning this Abhirami Andadi with me in the series, we both, Sahana's mom called me, and we were just talking about Jagati, Kriti. And then I suddenly got an idea of, why not have the Learn and Sing series. She's such a lovely singer and a very, very wonderful kid. So I have heard her sing, so I liked her voice very much, and I thought, and when my grandmother asked me, I was about her age. So I thought, why not have somebody of the same, age group? And then I asked her, the first thing I asked was, Sahana, this thing will go on for 100 episodes. Are you ready? Because it's not easy, right? We have to do every single week. This has to go on, and she has to learn. And the language is not very easy for, like you said before, right? For kids who are born and brought up here. So doing 100 episodes is not going to be an easy task. And so she's, and she understands the, when you ask me about the channel, right? Every single song, I do the arrangement, I do the mixing, mastering of the audio and video editing. Because we know the songs, so it's easy to, do that compared to giving it to others and expecting it to be like the way you want it to be. So that is so she understands all that. So when we are doing a 3-minute Abhirami Andadi video, which my grandmother, by the way, is a Veena player too.
Wow.
So I wanted a Veena introduction before every single Abhirami Andadi. So whatever be the ragam, we make, there are 2 artists who are part of this Abhirami Andadi series, Prasanna Soundararajan and Manjula Ramachandran. So they play the Thanam or the ragam. So for maybe less than a minute, and then I teach Sahana, and then followed by Sahana's solo rendition.
Fantastic.
So she understands all this process and how much of an effort is behind this. So to bring out a 3-minute one video, it takes about 3 hours.
Wow. And that's still quick because you seem to be technically savvy as well. I saw that you have a master's in
I started learning.
Yeah, you have a bachelor's in computer science from Anna University. I saw that. So I think this is why, all artists needs to be engineers as well. I think that just helps and brings things.
I should say I'm very fortunate that my husband is very supportive. After coming to the US, I studied a recording arts program, which is about sound engineering in Hartford Conservatory. So that also helped me a lot because I was so passionate about this. It's a long time thing to start something like this and have these kids do it. So I'm so happy that Sahana was like, immediately she said, yes, auntie, we are doing this. I can do all 100, and so far going on very well.
Fantastic. Lovely to have a female sound engineer. We always see male sound engineers. So very good to know that there is one. So Sahana, I'm going to turn it over to you here. This is really, your teacher, your guru and your friend here is really raving about your talents. But Sahana, of course, you yourself are a very talented, award-winning musician at a very young age. I think you are in, if I'm not mistaken, high school. Is that right? Or yes. And you're also the daughter of a very dear New England musician. 2 musicians actually, Uma Shankar and Gangai Kundan, who are very well known in the Boston area. So, so Sahana, tell me more. How has this experience been for you, and what motivated you to join Auntie in this pursuit?
Well, it's obviously a very memorable experience. I couldn't have asked for anything better than this. At first, my mom asked me if I wanted to do 100 slokams, and I was a little, I wasn't sure if I would be able to do this. and especially not knowing Tamil at all, or such advanced Tamil. It was definitely a challenge, but I have to thank Kamakshi auntie for being so patient and persevering with me in order for me to learn such beautiful slokams tuned by her grandmother. And I'm glad that I'm able to do so many, and I can't wait for where this will go in the future, because we've only done so little and there's 100 to go, so I'm excited to see where this goes.
So what has been the most beautiful experience, or like what is it about this that has really fascinated you the most?
Oh, it's everything in general. It's the classes. It's not just we sit through Zoom and she teaches me and I learn. It's more like she likes to joke around with me, and she tends to tell me the stories of how these originated, and how her grandmother tuned it. Or it's just it's so beautiful how it all came together, and I think it's very interesting to learn all these. So, I'm glad it's not just a Zoom talk that's her teaching me and I'm learning. It's much more than that.
And what have you been feeling about the Abhirami Andadi itself?
Oh, it's beautiful because her grandmother tuned it, and it's definitely not an easy thing to learn. The language itself is so beautiful, and the tunes that her grandmother made are also very beautiful. And I think Kamakshi auntie being able to teach me itself is an opportunity I can never take away from me. It's an unforgettable experience.
Yeah. Are you feeling closer to Mother Goddess?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Yeah. And I think that was the goal for all of this. So I think Piriva, definitely had a good idea, and what a multi-generational contact here. So I think we are in for a treat, because I think Sahana and Kamakshi are going to perform for us a small Andadi. Is that right, Kamakshi? Is that a reasonable thing to ask?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Because of Zoom, I think there'll be a lag that we can't sing together, but then Sahana can do a solo version.
Solo. All right. So I am going to let Sahana do a little solo for us.
Thank you. வெளி நின்ற நின்திருமேனியை பார்த்தின் விழியும் நெஞ்சும் களி நின்ற வெள்ளம் கரை கண்டதில்லை கருத்தினுள்ளே தெளி நின்ற ஞானம் திகழ்கின்றது என்ன திருவுளமோ ஒளி நின்ற கோணங்கள் உன்பதம் மேவி உரைபவளே.
Beautiful. Really would. This is and maybe at this time, Kamakshi, would you like to tell us a little bit about this particular one that she sang, the particular Andadi that she sang? What ragam? Could you give us a little description of it so that our viewers can understand it a little bit?
Yeah, so she sang this in Bilahari. Yeah, so my grandmother, each shloka, right, she tries to do it based on the meaning.
Yeah.
So if you look at this particular song, Veli Ninra Nin Tirumeniயை Parthen Vizhiyum Nenjum. So Parthen Vizhiyum Nenjum. So you have those nice modulation for the meaning based on the meaning. Oh, okay. I think something came up. Okay. So one second. And Telinindra Jnanam Tigalgendrathu Enna Tiruvulamo. There's a question, right? Enna Tiruvulamo. And same way, the way that it is being, the tune is being.
Meaning in English, some of our audience may not know.
Oh, okay. So See, we have to start from in the last line is ஒளி நின்ற கோணங்கள் ஒன்பதும் மேவி உரைபவளே. So the Devi who's seated in the Sri Chakra, we all know the Sri Chakra, right? That the konangal ஒன்பதும் மேவி உரைபவளே. So the one who's seated in the triangles of the 9 triangles of the Sri Chakra, that he's addressing to that Devi. Seeing the divine form you manifested, my eyes, the heart are brimming with ecstasy, the flood of ecstasy. So without any shores, right? It's like kare kanada, they say, right? Without any end. So it is your divine grace that has filled my thoughts with the pristine pure knowledge. Isn't it not true? He's asking the question. So it is your grace that is filling my knowledge. That's the meaning of this song. So the tune and the little things that my grandmother has she's gone through the meaning so much and then made sure that the tune matches with
I see, like you said, there's a question, so you need to put the notes in that correct way. It's almost like a conversation that is happening. So it's a musical conversation, and you should be able to hear Abhirami Bhattar actually talking to Abhirami about it and really feeling that.
So sometimes it's like the poets, they take that liberty, right? Sometimes they are like very asking goddess a question, and sometimes they are saying, whatever has happened to me is because of your blessings.
Right.
So, and then they say you bless us with, there's another song which says, you are blessing me with all the wealth and everything. And that is leading to, this luxury is leading to a Maya. And I fall, that is also because of that. And you are the one again lifting me up from, raising me up. So, sometimes even when we are doing the video, I tend to, the meaning suddenly comes to the mind and
transforms you. I remember I'm a dancer and I did the 49th Andadi as part of one of my compositions, and every time I used to perform it, you feel that moment, right? That to see what Abhirami Bhattar must have gone through. And I think this is the beauty of it. I'm so glad that children like Sahana are keeping up this beautiful tradition in this country. And I think this is the purpose probably for which many of us Indian Americans came to this country, so we can spread this heritage, which is it's a treasure, but the best way we can use this treasure is by spreading it. So really, Sahana, thank you for taking on this wonderful adventure, and continuing 100 of them. I'm looking forward. We need to have a grand celebration when you conclude that. So Kamakshi, any final words of advice to children who are taking on music in this country, and also how people can join Jagati, Kriti?
So first, let me answer your last question. Joining Jagati, Kriti, it just happens. I've known Uma for maybe like 8-9 years now, but bringing in Sahana or Shreya just happened only in the last 1.5 years. So you need suddenly this song, you get reminded of some artist or some student that you've heard. And sometimes even I've even one more student of Uma, I just called Uma and asked, there was one girl who sang in a competition and she was very cute, very beautiful rendition. So then I found out that I was a judge for that competition, and I asked the organizer. They said she's a student of Uma Shankar. Then I called Uma, and she was just hardly 7-year-old at that time. Her name is Surya. So she presented a song with my daughter. She was 6. My daughter was 6 at that time. So both of them sang that. So it just happens. When you find a good talent and when you see that they can do it. And that kid, I have to say, Surya has learned Bhagavad Gita. So already her pronunciation was like awesome. So my only thing that I would say for the students here is that they're all extremely talented, be it academics or, music or anything. All they have to do is take that extra step to learn the language. And, even if it's music, take it a little more seriously. They are actually, I would say, in par with the Indian kids who are learning there, and they can do much more, is what I would say.
Wonderful.
And thank you for actually inviting me, because like you said, it's not easy to post a video just like that. It's not as he, as we all think. But it involves not just composing, not just recording. Then comes the video. We have to shoot in the right place. Everything matters. And by the time you make one song, it is about weeks and almost a month of hard work from everybody.
Right.
Sahana knows very well. Sometimes if I'm not happy, I ask her to sing it again, for the recording, be it other songs as well. And that's the best part with some of these kids. They really are very, very cooperative. They like it.
Yeah.
They want to really do it well.
Fantastic.
I'm sure Sahana is one of those examples for, I've got a lot of positive reviews that Sahana singing very well. Her voice is very good. And with the recent song, they have even appreciated her Tamil pronunciation. So I hope Abhyam Yandadi is doing its magic.
Sure. If it could bring out the Tadange for the Abhirami, at least for us, little bit of brightness in our life, certainly Abhirami and Dadi can bring. And I am so glad that both of you, and thank you, Kamakshi, for really doing this and bringing this treasure out, and Sahana for proving that there are beautiful treasures in the United States, who are really going to become those bright stars that are going to brighten the sky in New England and in the world at large. So thank you both for your time today. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing the new songs at Jagati, Kriti. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you so much.